To be here and to speak to everybody. I did meet Nicole and then eventually Sherry, and I am also a broadcast journalist, so when I heard what was going on, I immediately invited them to be on my podcast, and I got that out. So I have been speaking about React Alliance and the floating wind turbines in every single speaking event that I'm invited to. Every single one. As a matter of fact, if you go to my platform, it is one of the top three. One of the top three are the floating wind turbines. So after speaking with Nicole the first time, I went ahead and did my due diligence, did my research, love the React Alliance website, but I got multiple sources of information after digging down, really digging in. It wasn't easy to find. As a matter of fact, some of the information just came out, data from the United Kingdom, and it's regarding 2021 and 2022. That's how long it took for this data to come out. So it's kind of ridiculous that they're suppressing the information. So I'm going to start in the United Kingdom, a little bit of information, what's going on there. It's current, not current. And then I'm going to pan out a little bit to international waters. I'm going to bring it back to the East Coast, and then I'm just going to touch on that, but I'm really going to dig into the economic consequence of what's going to happen and what is already happening. So all my sources are cited. Like I said, I am a broadcast journalist, so I cite everything. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to literally pass it around so you can see all the citations and the information and the website links and everything else. And you can note it, and take pictures of it, and look it up yourself, please. I am no expert, trust me, but the more I dig into this, the more I just, it's truly disgusting. This is from Jason Enfield. Thousands of marine mammals dead on Britain's beaches as alarming numbers of strandings are recorded. Now, they say strandings, they're dead. They're dead. There's a small percentage that they actually, mammals come in floating and they can refloat them, as they say. Small percentage. Another record year for cetacean strandings. 2,094 whales, dolphins, and porpoises. That's a 2-year period. 2021 saw the highest ever recorded number of dead cetaceans in the United Kingdom, breaking even the previous year's record high. 2 consecutive record-breaking years for cetacean strandings. More than 1,900 seals stranded on UK beaches, same period. Overview. More than 4,000 mammals, including, that's all, whales, dolphins, porpoises, and seals stranded around United Kingdom coasts. Panning out a little bit to the Netherlands. More than 4,900 marine mammals dead and dying on Dutch beaches over the same 2-year period. Bottom line, combined data for cetaceans and seals from the UK and Netherlands during those same 2 years, more than 8,900 marine mammals. This was really hard for me to read and to repeat. I don't know how you guys do it. Just a little bit about me. I've been about almost 30 years in California. My parents are extremely environmental conscious people. My mom's a marathon runner. If you want to put your papers down. Oh, thank you. My sister climbs mountains for fun. My little sister is a yoga instructor, hot yoga instructor. all of our kids hike. We've hiked California for the past 20 years, Death Valley included. We're really, really conscious of the environment. I mean, really, we take it in, you bag it, you bring it out, literally. I can't think of anything worse than what's happening with the floating wind turbines right now. That's why I immediately made it one of my top 3. So, like I said, this is all cited. I'm just going to begin to pass this around so you can take pictures of it, or I'm going to. Can I keep questions left?
Is related to that.
I'm sorry.
I'm totally lost. That I need a piece of information that correlates with those. Like, did the turbines just go in at that time?
They've been in.
That's what I need to see.
I see. So these turbines are already installed in Europe, in the United Kingdom. They're installed, they're up and running. And so this is what's been happening for the past 2 years. 2021 and 2022, they've been suppressing. We just got this information in August of 2024. So nothing about the surveying, nothing about the maintenance. All we got, that's what we got. That's all we've been able to squeeze out of them since they've been installed, up and running.
Did they give you a baseline before they?
That has never occurred before. There's a direct correlation between the installation and the maintenance of these wind turbines and the deaths. That has never happened before, that amount of deaths. And there's a direct correlation in the Netherlands, Dutch, the coastlines, and the United Kingdom coastlines. Directly. It's only happening where those wind turbines have been installed in the oceans. And when you see that, you'll get all the citations. So there is a direct correlation. Thank you for that. So yes, when I spoke with Nicole, the first hour that we spoke, I knew I was 100% on board. Okay, bringing it over to the East Coast. I am sure you guys have all heard of some data about the East Coast, yes? Okay, have you heard about what happened in Nantucket? Oh, darn, I'm not the first. Well, good, at least it's out there, right? Not like squeezing information out of the United Kingdom.
Can you summarize what happened?
Yes, I can, thank you. So, the week of 4th of July week, around Friday, Saturday, you want me to speak up? Okay. Around the 4th of July was Thursday, right? So around Friday night, Saturday, a blade broke. One blade broke. Saturday, the fishermen, they saw it because they're out there in their boats and they're running into shards of floating fiberglass from that one blade. They reported it. And nothing. Saturday went by, Sunday went by, the shards went into this, they came up on shore, now they're on the beaches, 6 beaches. It was not reported publicly, officially, to the public until Monday. Can anyone guess why they would wait this whole weekend for 6 beaches, Nantucket, 15 miles of Martha's Vineyard, and they gotta make their money this weekend, right? It's the 4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend. So they didn't publicly announce it until Monday. Meanwhile, people are running around with shards of glass in the sand and in the ocean. And there's even a video clip of a gentleman driving his boat saying, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe they haven't publicly notified anybody." Nobody got hurt that we know of. Okay, well, I've got a great picture here. If you haven't seen it already, please, if you wouldn't mind. So, how large they are, you've already seen this, but they are 6 times the size of a Boeing 737 wingspan. And just to give you the idea of it, it really brings it into perspective. I just grabbed a picture of it.
The one blade is that big?
The one blade, that's, if I'm reading that correctly, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, that's enormous. And they want it huge so that it could do its thing, right? But they're finding that they're breaking so quickly. Now, did they tell you that when that blade broke, it was in calm waters?
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the things that happens on the East Coast that we're always hearing about over here? Hurricanes. I don't know how they're gonna, yeah. Okay, I would like to dig in a little bit about the economic factors, because this is incredible. Have you all spoken about it a little bit? Good, okay. Well, the Cato Institute and virtually all other independent scientific research has shown that offshore wind is inherently uneconomical and unsustainable.
Yeah.
This conclusion arises from the extremely expensive manufacturing and installation costs, but also, nobody is talking about, massive maintenance costs. These calculations also project that enormous subsidies are only expected to increase as operations progress. Subsidies, anybody? What's the definition of subsidies? Taxpayer money. 100%. In fact, one wind industrial farm, I hate using that.
Yeah.
Is there another word I can use?
People understand
Factory.
farm, yeah.
I don't want to use it. Is projected to require over $160 billion of subsidy from U.S. taxpayers. $160 billion to maintain one.
For how long?
Wow. For the life?
And I haven't even gotten to what it's gonna take to take it down when it's time to take it down.
They're not coming down.
And these are foreign corporations that all the money is going to.
Yes, yes, these are all foreign corporations. 100%, I looked that up too, 100%. Maintenance, service costs, as well as surveying and installation costs make offshore wind power one of the costliest forms of energy production, as well as most unreliable. And because we got this data already, the early European adopters of offshore wind, especially the United Kingdom and Germany, have learned this in a harsh way, leading to enormous taxpayer subsidies and much higher consumer prices for electricity. Example, United Kingdom. Over 40% of the population, United Kingdom, that's almost half of the population, almost half, is now in energy poverty. They've gone back, they've brought themselves back to the dark ages. And this is over the offshore wind, specifically the offshore wind. This is ridiculous. The life cycle, we're talking about how long? The life cycle costs of offshore wind power make it one of the most expensive forms of energy production.
I would agree.
The true costs of offshore wind in their life cycle are often understated to the public by a factor of, any guesses?
100.
40 to 50%.
Ooh.
That's how much is understated to us. Decommissioning, even one large offshore wind industrial operation, I like that term, has been estimated to be in the range of $150 billion. I mean, we can't, my mind can't grasp that. There is a very high breakage rate of wind turbines, both onshore and offshore. There are currently about 53,000 turbines in the US right now. Wind turbine rotor blades fail at a rate of approximately 3,800 a year.
Oh my goodness.
And that's on land.
maintenance.
Yeah, that's on land.
Now, this is something that really, is really horrifying because we don't know the results of what this is gonna be when it's all said and done, this part right here. Electrical system breakage is the most common failure mode, which often leads to massive release of sulfur hexafluoride.
Oh, boy.
It's supposed to be banned.
Mhm.
This is one of the most potent greenhouse gases known to humankind. And yet, what's the whole purpose of green energy? To lower carbon, right? Our carbon footprint, carbon, you mean plant food? That. And no one is talking about sulfur hexafluoride. One of the most, and we don't even know the result of this. We do not know what this is gonna do to our oxygen levels, to the oxygen levels in the ocean, to our atmosphere. We have no idea. This very high rate of failure of turbines is a fundamental reason why offshore wind is the most expensive form of energy on a life cycle basis. And I have lots of citations in here. All right. So how and why is this getting done? After all those numbers, billions of dollars, breakage, hexafluoride, how is this all getting done? The corruption of government and environmental entities. There are numerous documented examples where the offshore wind industry has exerted questionable, unethical influence over governmental and charitable environmental organizations, overt transfer of money, and industry job promises. Government employees are showing up on the board of directors of wind companies and environmental organizations. When did this hard push for the green energy and the subsidies for us to pay for it, when did this really start in full force on a federal, national level for us? Unfortunately, it was during the Obama administration. That's when the federal push greatly expanded onshore wind installations. And that was when they started taking local control. They started taking control out of local communities, whether it was board of supervisors, city councils. They started taking away the local control, the local authority, and they started giving it to the federal government for wind turbines. There is a massive funding to scientists from the wind industry, making it difficult to derive objective information on the adverse impacts of offshore wind. Even certain USA federal agencies have been corrupted to participate in the legalization or cover-up of the killing of protected animals in order to protect wind industry executives from prosecution. It's been demonstrated already with United States NOAA. They have issued kill permits, also called IHAs, for numerous whales and dolphins since the offshore wind industry has been operating in the New England area. It's further been discovered that the U.S. Department of Fish and Game has issued kill permits for 15,000 bald eagles. And this kill permit is good for 30 years. They're gonna make sure to get their money. They're covered, all of it. These kill permits are good for 30 years. Numerous nonprofits that are pretty conservation oriented have received cash stipends from the wind industry for their silence and support. I have an 18-page document on the list of that. I'm almost done.
You have a list of those?
I do, I can send it to you digitally, I sure can. of 18 pages worth. 18 pages of environmental groups that have been paid. Just an example, 4.2 million between wind developers like Vineyard Wind, Bay State Wind, and Ørsted to environmental groups in Massachusetts such as Environmental League of Massachusetts, New England Aquarium, and the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. The Monterey Bay Aquarium. You know, I presented some of this information to hospitality, and they just, thank you very much, and went and stuck their heads in the sand. I've written our Monterey Bay Aquarium, I've written them and gave them information. They think they're safe, or they already know big bundle of money that's coming into their wallets. It's either or. Now, I want to let you know where my opponent stands. I have written to her directly. I've asked her, let's sit down and talk. Dawn Addis. I wrote to her about 3 weeks ago. I have not had a response. I said one-on-one, no news, no, I won't even bring my campaign manager, just one-on-one. Not even a response, not even an acknowledgement that she got my email. And I could only find an email, there's no phone number. Every single card I have has my personal cell phone number on it and my email address on it. I don't play any games, I just, very forthright. So you can always contact me. So, a little bit more. She is vice chair on the Fisheries and Aquaculture Committee. She's the vice chair on this committee. She's a member of the Natural Resources Committee. She's a member of Biodiversity Committee. And worst of all, she's the chair on the Offshore Wind Energy in California Committee. So she knows exactly what's going on. But I got this in the mail, it's my address, from Dawn. We all did, right? Do you recognize? Did you read the two bills that she's introduced? AB 3233, Local Environmental Choice and Safety Act, safeguards local government's authority to protect residents from oil and gas pollution. AB 2847, Ratepayer Transparency Act, addresses soaring utility rates by increasing transparency to consumers and creating new disclosure requirements for electric and gas utilities. You think that might raise our utilities even more? Of course it will. Transparency? Really? I can't make this up. In case you haven't seen it, here you go.
And I just want to interject for a second.
Yes.
We did invite Assembly Member Addis also to come here and speak with us, speak with you, and talk about these things. We have not received any response.
Did you feel just an acknowledgement maybe of that you
I
invited
don't-
her, the invitation?
Not yet.
No. So just to say, we're not, we wanted to hear from Representative Addis as well. And she's choosing, or she has chosen not to come and speak with you.
The email I sent her was really heartfelt. I said things like, I'm Dalila Epperson, I am competing with you for the chair, for the Assembly Chair District 30. I would love to meet you person to person. We saw each other in Sacramento. I go there to support or oppose bills, but I would love to meet with you. I really want to talk to you about the offshore wind and a couple other things. It was really good email. This is where we're at, and you, I'm sure, have surmised that it's all about the money, and it's only about the money. It's not about anything else. And it's grotesque, it's disturbing, but the work that you all are doing is quite amazing. And I heard about No Way. I love it. And I've already been all over that website as much as what's there, but I am just thrilled to be here. I am honored that I was invited to speak. I really do wish that Dawn did show up so that we could speak, and maybe some information she's just not receiving, I don't know. But we're gonna continue doing what we're doing. I'm going to continue to speak to it. My podcast is out there. I'm part of C. Michael Hogan's nonpartisan, non-political, it's called CASI, California Arts and Science Institute. I'm on the board. I help out wherever I can there. I help out wherever I can. When it comes to environmental issues, I'm all on board. So again, I'm very honored and pleased to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take questions? Okay. Are
Do
there?
you have a website?
I do. It's Dalila for Assembly. I've got my cards and palm cards, but it's DALILA FOR assembly.com.
The information that you've cited this evening, is that available on the website?
This information, not in this amount of detail, no. I could send you the links for everything that I have,
Yeah.
that I brought today.
Yeah, I can't really look at it all right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to look at more of
Give
it.
me your phone number.
Or if you send it to me, then I can get it out to everybody.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah, that's much.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions at all?
I don't know, when you were talking about how many dead animals around the UK, and that you were just getting the information from 2021, 22. So who was giving that information? Was that a different, not a government agency that was counting? Was it a school? Who was counting? Maybe you got the information because they weren't government.
Oh, no, that came from the government. That came from the United Kingdom government.
Okay.
It was so detrimental, the information that the mammal death, she said, where did I get that information? It's exactly cited in there. But it was so detrimental, so this is what they decided to do. They've decided to break up the institutions that are reporting this information so that you will only get a little piece from Ireland, from Scotland, from here, from there, and you will have to put it all together. That's how hard they're trying to suppress this information, and that's actually the write-up too.
Just gonna say that 2 months ago, 77 pilot whales got stranded near an offshore wind installation in Scotland. And all the articles that discussed it as, no, we have no idea on why this is happening. It is the second largest stranding of whales in the history of the UK.
Historical.
And so these things get reported in the press, but they don't,
It's a blip.
yeah.
It's a blip, and they get it out of there as quick as possible. I'm so sorry, yeah.